Let me tell you, if you'd told me 3 months ago that a can of government-grade carpet cleaner, a 53-page HOA document, and a $1 property transfer would upend my quiet life in the suburbs, I'd have laughed you right off my porch. But here we are. Because some stories just don't give you a choice. They come barreling into your Tuesday afternoon, knock the wind out of you, and then keep going until every neighbor you ever nodded to at the mailbox is suddenly looking at you like you're starring in your own true crime docuseries. That's pretty much how it went down for me. See, I'm Richard Ramos, yes, that Richard, the county sheriff who spent the last 20 years learning to spot frauds, phonies, and folks who think rules are just suggestions. I never figured I'd stumble on the biggest scam of my career while standing in line to refinance my mortgage. But that's how it started. Tuesday County Recorder's Office. I'm bored out of my mind waiting behind some guy arguing over a notary stamp. Most folks scroll Instagram. Me, I poke around deed transfers for kicks. Old habits die hard. I was just about to pack it in when I spot her name on the screen, Teresa Brooks. You know the type. Perfect lawn HOA president for 8 years, that polite but somehow threatening smile that says, "Your mailbox is the wrong shade of beige." Last year she dinged me for exactly that. Beige. As if my mail had feelings about color. Anyway, I see Teresa's name and I see a quitclaim deed, a transfer of property from her to her son, Tyler, for the grand sum of $1. Now, a dollar transfer in a family, not unheard of. But this parcel wasn't her backyard or a garden shed. It was a chunk of land on the southwest corner of our neighborhood, the green space, the overflow parking lot. Land everyone assumes belongs to the community, paid for by monthly dues, my dues. And here's the kicker. Quitclaim deeds don't even require proof you actually own what you're selling. You just sign file, and unless someone kicks up a fuss, it's done. Perfect for estate planning, sure, but also for slipping things through the cracks. I start thinking either Teresa owns that bit of land, fair and square, which would be odd, or she just gave away something that doesn't belong to her. So I asked the clerk for the original plat map and the chain of title. 15 minutes later, she hands me a stack of papers that might as well have been dynamite. Plat map says the land's designated common area, HOA maintained. Chain of title says the HOA's owned it since the place was built in '87. That is until 3 weeks ago when Teresa signed it over to Tyler. I'm sitting in my truck staring at these papers, and it hits me. 12 years. I've lived here, paid dues, mowed the little green space with my own mower, more than once watched kids play there. Now it's Tyler's a kid who's never even come to a single HOA meeting. There's a moment where I tell myself, walk away, Rich. Not your fight. I'm just a homeowner today, not the sheriff. But come on, you see a wrong like that, you can't just unsee it. I go home, start digging. 53 pages of HOA covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CCNRs. And there it is in black and white. You need 75% of homeowners to approve any sale or transfer of common property. 75%, I sure as heck never got a ballot. So I go back through every meeting minute posted online, 5 years of discussions about pool tiles and garden gnomes, and not a single peep about selling community land. So how did Teresa pull this off? She's been president for 8 years, has access to all the right docs, can sign for the board. No bank involved, no third party, just a couple signatures and a walk to the recorder's office. It's invisible unless you know where to look or unless you're bored at the recorder's office on a Tuesday. I wrestle with what to do. Could call in the badge, make it an official case, but I live 3 doors down. Any lawyer worth their salt would cry conflict of interest before I could even finish my coffee. Could bring it up at the next HOA meeting, but Teresa's got friends, knows how to run a meeting. She'd make me look like a cranky neighbor with a vendetta. There's no clean way through, not for a while. So I do what any decent cop or, frankly, any neighbor who cares about where their money's going would do. I build a case. But not as the sheriff, not as the guy with the badge, as just another homeowner using the exact same public records and rights every member has. No special treatment, no shortcuts. I asked for the HOA's financials past 3 years, the budget, all resolutions involving property transfers. I keep it strictly above board. 10 days later, I'm poring over spreadsheets, and there it is. Land sale proceeds $1. Filed right there in the reserve fund, clear as day, as if this is just normal HOA business. Teresa must have figured no one would ever read it, or if they did, no one would get what it meant. But the more I dig, the more patterns I see: similar land transfers, no votes, no notices, no nothing. I'm starting to think this isn't her first rodeo. Quarterly meeting rolls around and I show up early, sit in the third row. Teresa's running the show as usual, brisk all business. Meeting rolls to open forum and I ask about the transfer. Room goes silent. Teresa's answer is all legalese and dodges. Then out of nowhere, Jim Brennan, old CPA, former board member, stands up and backs me up. He knows the bylaws. Common property sales require a member vote, he says. Period. Teresa looks like she's swallowing a lemon, says we'll table the discussion. Meeting adjourned in record time. Afterwards, people start coming up to me wanting to know more, wanting to help. Jim invites me over. We spend a Saturday with coffee, laptops, and more county records than is healthy. Jim's got the sharpest eye for numbers I've ever seen. And together we piece it together, not one, but 3 parcels. All quitclaim deeds, all transferred out to either Teresa's son or an LLC registered to her home address. Altogether, somewhere around $200,000 in land, all moved for $3. Jim calls it salami tactics, thin slices, so nobody notices until the whole sausage is gone. I put it all in a folder, give it to the district attorney. No badge, no headlines, just a stack of paperwork the way any homeowner could have done if they'd bothered to look. And then I wait. Of course, Teresa isn't going to go quietly. She blasts out a community-wide email painting herself the victim, accusing me of harassment, weaponizing my job against her. Classic move: deny attack, reverse victim and offender, DARVO as they call it. Tempting as it was to fire back, I let the evidence speak. Jim chimes in online, calm and steady, just asking for answers. Others do too. And before long, the DA calls they're opening a formal investigation. I'm to be a witness, not a cop. The charges come down in spring. It's on the news before it's in my inbox. HOA president charged with theft, fraud, breach of fiduciary duty. Tyler, too, receiving stolen property. Neighbors are shocked. Some angry, a few still defending Teresa. I go to the arraignment, see her walk in gray dress, no jewelry, no sign of that old burgundy blazer. She pleads not guilty. But the paper trail is airtight. 8 months later, it ends with a plea deal. Teresa pleads to felony theft and breach of duty, 5 years probation, nearly $200,000 restitution, banned from HOA boards for life. Tyler gets a misdemeanor community service, and all those parcels get deeded back to the HOA. The board holds a meeting to overhaul the rules: independent audits, mail ballots, whistleblower protection. Jim, against his own wishes, steps in as interim president to steady the ship. Things heal slow but sure. And here's what really sticks with me: the gut punch of it all. This never would have come to light if I hadn't been at the recorder's office that day, if I convinced myself it was someone else's problem, or if I'd trusted that someone would notice. Teresa didn't get away with it because she was smart. She got away with it because nobody was watching. Most people aren't bad, but even good people can get comfortable and stop paying attention. When they do, the system fails. So yeah, verify. Read the records, ask the hard questions. You don't need a badge or a law degree, just curiosity and patience. And for what it's worth, justice isn't always a big dramatic moment in court. Sometimes it's a new rule, a changed process, a quieter kind of relief. Sometimes it's sitting on your porch with someone you love, realizing things look the same, but you've lost a little bit of innocence. You'll never quite trust blindly again, but maybe that's for the best. Now I've got to ask, if you'd been in my shoes, would you have dug in or walked away? Is it justice if nobody goes to jail, or does fixing the system count? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own HOA horror stories, your wins, your losses. Let's hear what you think. Because the next time someone tries to slip a little deal past the rest of us, maybe, just maybe, we'll all be watching.